Hey, welcome in to another Mystery Fifth Hour presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental. We thank you for joining us and ask you to do a couple things. Number one, make sure you give us a thumbs up on the video. Number two, we ask you to follow us on all social media at Naxtra Live. And number three, if you haven't already subscribed to YouTube, please do so and set your alerts so you know when we're live. He is Lance Taylor. I wanted to compliment you earlier. I love the Jordans. Those look brand new. I've never seen you wear them.
Yeah, so they're Jordan 4s, and they were a gift, and they're a little too small for me.
You know what? This is going to be the weirdest thing. I was going to say, because I think you and I both wear a size 13, right? I was going to say those Jordans make your foot look smaller.
Yeah, well, that's
So
because
there's
they
10s?
are.
What size are
I
they?
think they're 12s.
Are your
Yeah.
dogs barking?
No, it's not too bad. I think my 13 was a little oversized anyway.
Oh, yeah?
I think Nikes have changed their sizing a little bit over the years. But anyway, I gave these to Jack. So Jack and I just kind of, he's worn
share
them
them?
once. I've worn them a couple
What
of times.
size is Jack wearing now?
He's wearing a 12.
Well, how about that?
Yeah.
Big kid.
Yeah.
Boy, it is frustrating when you just
But these are the only Jordans I had as a kid, Jordan 4s. And I think I've told the story. I went to see Guns N' Roses and Skid Row.
these are the ones.
These are the ones. And I left them out front, and they got taken away.
Wow.
Somebody stole them.
It's come full circle now. He's got them back, everybody. He's got them back. He's Jim
Just
Dunaway.
don't fit, but-
$33 Shoe Barn.
Shoe Barn.
I'm joking.
Oh.
But they're not expensive. They're less than $100.
There's a new shoe store that has hit the Birmingham market, and my wife likes it. And there's one that's coming close to our houses. There's one close to Rockstar's house already, and I saw his dad in there one time. In fact,
Just your feet?
Oh, I think,
it's not just for
no, but I think we were doing a Thursday night show near there the day it opened up because I was walking
That's
by it
correct. Yep.
to run and chase something down for us, and I was like, oh, geez.
So there's one coming very close to our house out on 280, and I was listening on my drive in today as we tape this. I was listening to our friends Rick and Bubba, and there was a commercial running, and it was the grand opening for this store, and it said, featuring Ha Ha Clinton Dix.
Hell yeah.
And two other surprise Alabama football players.
Oh, wow.
And I know how the business works, and I'm like, two things.
They hadn't found those guys yet.
You haven't found them yet, or they're such bad names you don't want to promote them. One of the two. I mean, Clinton Dix was a really good Alabama player, played in the NFL. But I thought that was those two surprise Alabama players. He's a rock star, Sean Hennigan.
Hey, good.
How are you, man? Welcome
Yes.
to town. And I'm Ryan Brown. We thank you for joining us. Let me tell you about McCurry before we get cracking here. If you need a car, van, or truck, you rent from McCurry Van or Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from, including trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans. They make it really easy to rent, too. They get you in and out fast with locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's McCurry, 256-559-1003. Or visit McCurryRentals.com. That's McCurryRentals.com. Rockstar.
How you guys doing today? Everything
Great,
all
man.
right?
Doing good.
So, I was thinking the other day, as I tend to do, if you, famous iconic movie role played by an actor, if you had to replace that actor with somebody else, and you think that guy could have done, or that female could have done, not as good as a job, but a pretty damn good job in that role. And the whole, I don't know why, and Lance, you're probably going to disagree with it, but I'm not saying replace him. Anton Chigurh, played by Javier Bardem on No Country for Old Men. For some reason, I think Jake Gyllenhaal could have done that role.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
I don't know why. I think he's a great actor. He's very method. For some reason, I don't think he would have been as good as Javier Bardem. Don't say that. I'm just saying somebody that could maybe have done that role almost as good. And I think for some reason Jake Gyllenhaal. This which came up with this topic.
Are you saying, just real quick, are you saying Jake Gyllenhaal is a method actor?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that about him. All right.
Javier Bardem did such a good job. I remember we used to do Monday observations, and I came in after seeing that movie on opening weekend, and I said Javier Bardem will win Best Supporting Actor 100%. I mean, he was that good in that.
Again, I'm not saying to replace him. I'm just saying if somebody's like, if this guy could do maybe an okay job at this role.
Yeah,
Javier Bardem is the top.
I think the way I would say it is No Country for Old Men probably still wins Best Picture with Jake Gyllenhaal in that role, probably. So, like, one of my favorites, I got two from the 90s, American Beauty, which Kevin Spacey has since been canceled. But what about Bob Odenkirk as Lester Burnham?
Oh, that's pretty good.
because he plays awkward well. He also plays sarcastic well, condescending.
But he wasn't. The only problem was he wasn't well established. But even though he's
No, I'm just talking about like if you
yeah.
went and remade the movie and you put Odenkirk, I think he could play that part. I mean, Kevin Spacey was incredible. He won Best Actor that year for the portrayal of Lester Burnham. Have you guys seen American Beauty?
I've never seen American Beauty.
Have you seen it?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic.
You always
movie.
called Dunaway Lester Burnham.
A little bit.
Yeah, in a loving way.
No, he could be like Lester Burnham. Like he asked, well, what kind of shape do you want to get in? And he was like, I want to look good naked. I mean, I can see you say that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to look good with my clothes on at this point.
Naked would be
Naked is
it'd be a bonus.
too
right?
late now. Too late now.
And the other one, I thought he won Best Actor, Golden Globe, Comedy or Musical, and this was 96 or 97, I think. John Travolta, Get Shorty.
Yeah.
But I think George Clooney could have pulled off the role of Chili Palmer.
I never saw Get Shorty, so I can't.
I haven't
great.
seen that one either.
And then when
Gene
the sequel,
Hackman, Renee Russo, Delroy Lindo, James
But
Gandolfini.
Be Cool, the sequel or the prequel?
Be Cool was the sequel.
Okay, I never saw that.
I saw Be Cool, and it wasn't as bad as the Rotten Tomatoes ratings. It wasn't good. It wasn't Get Shorty. But the funny thing is, so George Clooney was also Elmore Leonard is the guy that wrote Get Shorty, but he also wrote Out of Sight, which Clooney played the
Jennifer
lead in
Lopez.
that. Yeah, so I think Clooney could have pulled it off.
I really think Ashton Kutcher could have replaced Justin Timberlake in Friends with Benefits. That would have worked out really good
Didn't they do the same movie,
They did
just
the
different
same-
titles?
No strings attached.
at the same time. And they ended up getting married. So Mila, his eventual wife, was doing Friends with Benefit with Timberlake, and Kutcher was doing No Strings Attached with
Cameron Diaz.
the Black
that's-
Swan girl,
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. And they were doing the same movies at the same time. I think
Natalie
it
Portman
was.
was not in it.
I think No Strings Attached was
Yeah, so
Cameron Diaz, I think.
It was Timberlake and Kunis, right?
Right.
And then it was Kutcher. Kutcher was the Cameron Diaz was Vegas.
Oh, that's What Happens in Vegas, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it was Natalie Portman though.
I mean, this is like
It's Natalie Portman.
early
Look at Dunaway.
It's like early 2000
I mean-
San Jose tight end.
I know.
I wouldn't question you, but
Yeah,
here we
I
go.
mean, this is romantic comedy. I can't believe. I know Dunaway screws movies up all the time, but not rom-coms.
Yeah, I just don't remember Natalie Portman being in that.
He knows rom-coms like the back of his hand.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a funny line of some athletic female comedian who could have
Melissa
played
McCarthy.
Who could have played Mr. Mom? I mean, Mrs. Doubtfire better than Robin Williams.
Rosie O'Donnell?
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. It would be good. I mean, she could pull that off. It would be really good.
I think it loses its storyline though.
A little
that
bit,
point.
yeah, a little bit.
I think that even though it wasn't that great of a movie, I think as amazing as Robin Williams is, he was miscast in Hook. He should not have been Hook.
I never saw Hook.
Hook was. I mean,
Dustin
I
Hoffman
liked.
did great. Bob Hoskins
Dustin
was
Hoffman
great.
was fantastic. Who?
Bob Hoskins was Smee.
Oh yeah. Dustin Hoffman was really good as Captain Hook. So Peter Pan. I mean,
Captain Hook.
Wendy?
No, hang on, everybody. Robin Williams
Yes.
is basically he's lost his childhood. That's what it
I
boils
think
down
they're
to.
trying to make it. He's a normal guy now,
Yeah.
and Robin Williams hit the part. And Julia Roberts was Tinkerbell. I thought that was miscast.
No,
think
I
she was
agree
too
100%
big.
with
She was
you.
too big for that role.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah, it's basically Robin Williams finding his childhood again.
How about Robin Williams in Big?
He did.
Instead of-
He played a movie called Jack, where he grew too big for his size, and he was in kindergarten.
But you're right. Instead of Tom Hanks, like with all due respect to Tom Hanks, who won a Academy Award for that.
And he was fantastic in that. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people could have played that role. Don't
What,
you?
Big?
Yeah, in Big.
Well, he was nominated.
He
didn't
was
win.
nominated. Okay, my
He won
apologies.
for Philadelphia and Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Like Robin Williams playing that role would have been fantastic.
Like you and I.
See, I think that role was more difficult than Forrest Gump.
I could agree with that.
I would disagree with that. But I do think I'm about to sound like I'm contradicting myself. I think there are numerous.
I think it's easier to play dumb than young.
I think there are numerous people that could have played Forrest Gump. I don't disagree with you on that.
Travolta was supposed to play, but he said no because he was going to make Battlefield Earth.
Wow, that was
Well,
a
that's
terrible decision.
But that's a Scientology movie.
Yeah.
L. Ron Hubbard actually wrote that.
He probably had to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tom Hanks. I feel like you're a little too critical of Tom Hanks.
Well, so do you think anybody else could have played him in Castaway? Do you think Johnny Depp could have played the role of Castaway.
Yeah, he would have
random
played
actor.
it differently.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all great actors. Of course, they can play
Yeah,
that role.
Daniel Day-Lewis would have been a different take. He wouldn't have had the humor.
But I don't just assume that they would have been better at it than Hanks.
Yeah, what you're
Could
saying.
they have done it? Yes.
Forrest Gump was a better script than Big was.
I mean, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that.
Yeah. But I mean, also you're playing. I mean, he's playing a guy that's, I mean, portrayed as a little bit of a slow coach, right? So he's got to be in that character the whole time. I mean, he's never just normal Tom Hanks. He's playing a character. In Big, there was parts where he could be normal Tom Hanks.
Josh
he also
Baskin.
had to be, yeah.
The Rodney Downey Jr. character in Tropic Thunder. That's very controversial, right?
It is.
Which weird is, what was that, 2006?
But that's a
2008?
guy like, they would never cast that again, but I never would have thought Robert Downey Jr. for that.
And Tom Cruise was in that film. But y'all talk about Tom Hanks being such a great actor, one of the greatest ever. Can you name the last best Tom Cruise movie? Tom
Cruise?
Hanks. Tom Hanks.
The last really good Tom Hanks
He was
movie?
just in A Man Called Otto. I think that did terrible. Greyhound was awful on
I
Apple.
saw the other one, the apocalyptic one with the robot.
That was another. I think that was another Apple movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Is A Man Called Otto the one where he's teaching a guy to drive?
He's just a grumpy old man that lives across the street from. Yeah.
Last good movie I remember was Captain Phillips.
What year was that?
I mean, he wasn't bad
2013?
in the one where he played the Sesame Street guy.
Yeah, Mr.
Rogers.
Rogers. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, not Sesame Street.
Yeah,
PBS.
Mr. Rogers. No, but that was a good movie.
Yeah,
No,
he
I-
played
seen
that
that.
really well.
I never saw it.
No, it's a good movie. What was the? Oh gosh, when you said A Man Called Otto, I was about to say a different one that he was in, and it was not Greyhound. Greyhound was awful. I love Tom Hanks, but Greyhound was
atrocious.
boring movie. And it came out during the pandemic too. They had the. I mean,
Well, this is one of those films. I think they were supposed to go theatrical. Then they're like, the Apple just said, let's just release it on this
Yeah, they
platform
promoted
because this
the
will
shit
not
out of it,
this
though.
will not make money.
Captain Phillips, to me, probably the last 10 minutes of Captain Phillips is the best acting Tom Hanks has ever done.
is really
I mean,
well.
it was incredible, man. You really believed he had just been in that situation.
Yeah, he's been in some real. It almost reminds me of the career arc of Robert De Niro. Like it's almost just like money grabs after they did so many like iconic, some of the best movies in film history.
But see, some people would have said that De Niro did that with that Analyze This, and that made a ton of money. That made a sequel, and then he was in. I mean, he is in so many movies now. That's just the stand-up, the comedian. He did that where he's a stand-up comedian. He's had a lot of really bad. I think he just. Well, they said that his divorce, she took half of his money, so he just started saying yes to anything.
And he decided to have another kid at 76.
Yeah.
So
79.
he'll continue.
That'll cost you some money there, too. All right, it is the Mystery Fifth Hour. It's presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental. If you need a car, van, or truck, rent from McCurry. McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company that you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from, including trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans. Easy to rent as well. They get you in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003. Or McCurryRentals.com. That's McCurryRentals.com.
I was thinking about this on Mother's Day when I was with my mom, and she brought up, do you remember when you were little, we'd always go on Sundays if we had the money out to Lloyd's, and it was such a long drive on Highway 280, and it was such a big deal. And then, typical dad said, oh, back then, the hamburger steaks were this big, and if you got the sheriff's special,
That was the way to roll.
basically two plates. They couldn't put it all on one
Oh, the
plate.
sheriff's
and
special
now,
was
I'm
incredible.
surprised James Sr. liked it because one of the reasons I didn't go for a while is they didn't have beer.
well, he doesn't always have to have beer, but when he was at Champy's at 11 o'clock on a Sunday, he said, the girl was like, what do you want to drink? Can I get a Budweiser? And she goes, I'm sorry, sir, we can't serve alcohol till 12 noon. He's like,
Which
it's
is one
12.
of the dumbest laws in the history of the
course.
He
world.
said, it's 12 noon right now in Atlanta, Georgia, young lady, is what he said.
Young lady?
I said, Dad, please, he'll take a sweet tea. I was having to cut him off. He was filling his oats out of the house. But it got me thinking that when you were little, what was an outing that was a big deal to you that someone else would have thought, well, this isn't big? And I'll go first. For me, and I've told this one once before, I know, that Mom worked at the plastic plants, what we called it. It was Alabaster Industries, where she stood on her feet in 100-degree weather all the time, making plastic cups and ice trays and stuff. That was what she did for a living. And they got paid weekly. So on a Friday, if we didn't have too many bills due, she would go by Buddy's Barbecue, a little shack right there on Highway 31 in Alabaster, and get a barbecue sandwich and fries and bring it home for me and my brother. If it was good, we got 2 barbecue sandwiches. If it was a good week of overtime and stuff. And that was a big deal to me. And if we really had a good week as a family, we would go out to eat at a place called Bonanza. And I don't know if you...
Hell yeah.
Bonanza.
I remember Bonanza.
That was a steakhouse.
It was a steakhouse,
a
right.
salad bar steakhouse.
It did, and it was one of those where they would stick the little thing in. If you got it medium rare, it was pink.
The little plastic,
the little things in there. And I don't even know where this place is, where we would go. But if it was a great week, like if Dad hit, like a quarter, 25-cent, $1 pool at the gas station and won $100, we would drive somewhere that seemed like it was a trip away, but I'm sure it was just in Birmingham somewhere. And we would go to like the Catfish Hut or the Catfish House.
It wasn't Ezel's Catfish Cabin, was it?
I don't think so. Not sure that was around. This would have been in the 70s. Maybe some of your old timers can remember. I bet it was somewhere out near Eastwood Mall. And it was some kind of catfish place, like the Catfish House or Hut. And Jimmy, my dad had to have hit some gambling for us to go there. So that was the tier for us. Paycheck on Friday, got a little barbecue. Good week, we went to Bonanza. And if Dad hit his gambling or won at poker, we were at the Catfish Cabin. I think it was Catfish Cabin.
Oh yeah, Catfish Cabin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they like catfish that much that was the.
Dad ordered it Sunday at Champions.
At Champions, deep fried catfish.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they served that
deep
there.
fried catfish. And typical James Sr. here. So Sterling, the owner of Champions, is standing by the table, and the server came up and said, "How did y'all like your meal?" And Dad said, "Oh man, the catfish was delicious. Would you please tell the owner next time to use the whole catfish, though?" And he knew Sterling was standing there. And he looked at Sterling and goes, "I'm just joking." And Sterling looked at me and says, "I see where you get it."
It comes honest. Yeah.
I see where you get it from.
Comes
so
honest.
what about you guys? Was there an
What
outing?
would you get? Hang on. What would you get when you were a little kid? Do you remember what you got with the catfish? With coleslaw?
I remember I ate my weight in Hush Puppies.
Those are healthy too.
Those would just keep
I
coming.
loved them when I was a kid.
And I would never, because I did not like catfish, so I would, whatever else was on there, whether
Pick the
it was
batter off. That's what I would do.
So-
Just pick that batter off.
whether it was chicken fingers
Yeah.
or hamburger steak or whatever I could get at Catfish Cabin that wasn't catfish.
So when I was a kid growing up, top of the river over in Anniston's one of the top catfish restaurants in the world. And you would go and they would bring you a plate of Mexican cornbread, like in a little skillet of Mexican cornbread, a mason jar of coleslaw. And
Your mouth watered right then.
oh, it did. It was so good. And then a little bowl of pickled onions, which I don't really care for onions, but pickled onions I can eat. And every plate came with Hush Puppies. And I'm not that big a fan of fried catfish, but maybe like once a year just to go devour one of those meals. It was so freaking good.
I love a good Hush Puppy too, man.
Yeah, I do too. Hush Puppies are phenomenal. I like them when they're good and buttery.
Yeah. No, I like them when they're crunchy.
Yeah, but I mean, like on the inside, it's like buttery. I don't know how they do that, but they are so good. And you dip it in ketchup.
Ooh, I wouldn't do it.
Oh, I do. Cocktail sauce is what I would do.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cocktail
Yeah.
sauce, interesting.
Yeah, or butter. Just flat out butter.
You don't dip a Hush Puppy
lard.
in ketchup? Why did you grunt about a Hush Puppy in ketchup?
It just sounds gross. Hush Puppy's good by itself.
Oh,
it
Hush Puppy
is.
and ketchup or the
Cocktail sauce.
cocktail sauce
Yeah,
with
or
horseradish.
honey mustard. I mean, it's a Hush Puppy. It goes with
Yeah,
anything.
I mean, there is fried corn.
Barbecue sauce. It's
Well,
good.
mine was growing up. I had two. When the family would get up and because we lived close to it, go to Morrison's, and then some days we'd have to go to Discount Morrison's. We had to go to Quincy's, which I thought sucked ass.
Discount Morrison's.
Morrison's was legit. It was
I thought Quincy's was better than
That
Morrison's.
damn Morrison's tray was so heavy,
Yeah,
though.
I
was.
I mean, if
and
you
you
hit
got-
somebody sideways with that, it'd gash him.
And then you get those angel mints at the end, at the cash
yes.
register. That, and then I think only Lance will remember being in daycare in Homewood, being little. My mom would pick us up and we got a good report card or whatever. She'd take us to that. It was an icy place in Homewood over in...
Snowbiz.
There wasn't Snowbiz. This is like a legit place. Like it was a little window. It wasn't a snow biz.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like 1985.
No. No. It was. I thought it was Snow Biz. It was right there by
Edgewood.
York Pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, and we would go there if we got
So
a
it
good
was
report card.
it was just like a snow cone. Like
No,
a-
but they had.
It was like I remember.
I got peaches and cream,
my
so I get the
sister
half
and I would always
half
get
peach.
banana, and it was like beyond yellow, and it was like this. Yeah, but it was a big ass thing. I remember thinking, just so excited to be. We were good today. Every now and then, if I was good, I'd get a Cadbury egg, the original Cadbury egg that was awesome, not fondant BS. But I got rewarded with food a lot. But Morrison's and whatever the.
So you never went to TCBY?
No, I did when it was also Wall Street Deli. I used to eat the piss out of some Wall Street Deli because they did no forgiveness when they put mayonnaise on your sandwich.
Do you remember though, like when TCBY first hit the market and you first had frozen yogurt? I mean, it was like the biggest thing in the world because it was low-calorie ice cream, basically.
They did a Seinfeld episode on it.
Yeah, you could eat the same amount. Like, and TCBY used to have this. I think it was white chocolate mousse frozen yogurt. It was phenomenal,
It was
man.
awesome.
I could eat the heck out of that. They had those waffle cones that when you walked in, they just cooked the waffle cones. They smelled unreal.
It's like a fair.
Yeah, it did.
I've got a few. So I don't know if you guys will remember this concept. There was a place across from the Red Lobster in Vestavia. And I think it was called the Sailmaker, the name of the restaurant.
The what?
The Sailmaker, I think. And I'm just grabbing my memory because I was like in first grade. But all the servers would dress up in a different costume. Like you might have Batman or you might have a pirate.
That'd be fun.
That is random. I've never heard of that.
And I really, really wanted to go, and I didn't care anything about eating. And I remember I got a dog. It was the first. I got a burger, and it was the first doggy bag that I ever got because my mom was like, "You're taking that home and eating it," and it was in a doggy bag. And that's how young I was. So I remember right when we got home, Drox was in the backyard, and I threw it over the fence to Drox.
You made it a legit doggy bag, didn't you?
Yeah, and she was pissed about that. But the Sailmaker was a big outing for me. I think that was the name of it. There's somebody out there that will remember this. And I was so disappointed because we went during the week and it was like a terrible, like a Cinderella or somebody waited on us. I wanted a superhero. So that didn't work out. But I was very excited about, and I used to get excited about Sports Fantasy, the place in the Galleria that had jerseys and T-shirts.
Oh yeah, I did
Just
like
go in
that
and look
place.
at them.
Yeah, that was it. I was window
they were
shopping
so
nonstop,
expensive,
but
yeah.
I absolutely loved it because when the gallery opened, they opened that store, and it was like my favorite store.
Because they had every team and every hat
Yeah.
for the most
And
part.
for a minute, I think when Champ Sports opened, I think they took that over. They would have the NFL jerseys, the Major League jerseys in there.
Yeah, the original place. I remember one time before we went to a Braves-Dodger game, we went to Lenox Square in Atlanta, and I forgot what it was called, but it was infamous over there. And I mean, I was just wowed as a kid. It was before Sports Fantasy, so it was mid '80s, and they had every collegiate T-shirt, Major League Baseball, NFL, that kind of stuff back in the day. But back before you had catalogs and you could order shit online was incredible.
Yeah.
Do you remember in Brookwood, old Brookwood? I can't remember the sports store, but it was just before. I don't know if it was Parisian or J.C. Penney, but it was the last store before you go into the major store, and it was on your right. And they always had a Dallas Cowboy football helmet, Lazy Boy. It was it was always to the point where the ass was just worn out that nobody ever bought it. They would put it out there. It was a Dallas Cowboy football helmet that was a blue Lazy Boy.
Oshman's?
I can't remember. I just remember they would like drag that thing out every day and like hope like people would sit in it and like mom.
I think it might have been Oshman's.
That damn Dallas
Because it was up by
Cowboys.
Music Land, which I love too.
Man, when I was a kid, I bet none of y'all have ever been to Nakalula Falls. You may have, but you've probably done a TV shot from there or something.
I have.
Because then you used to do that community tour on
We did.
NBC 13.
We did. We had to partner all the NBC stations one year promoting "Where in the World is Matt Lauer." Every NBC owned and operated
Hey,
one.
where is he now?
It's a much better show now.
It was better back then.
He's at the bank right now.
We had to a local person had to do it. So "Where in the State is Jim Dunaway" was
Right.
the local version.
And you were at
One of
Nakalula
mine
Falls
was
all the time?
Nakalula Falls. They'd give out clues all week long.
I used to love that as a kid. I don't know why. I mean, it's if it rains a lot, I mean, it's a pretty big waterfall.
Yeah.
For this area.
Where is it?
It's up just north of Gadsden. Okay. So it's probably from where I grew up in Sags, probably a good 30-minute drive.
Yeah, we call it Niagara South, but
Yeah. But it had a little train. You could ride the train. It had a putt-putt course.
Hell yeah.
Were you actually there?
That's where I was one day.
Did you have to hide out there? Or?
Well, no, I just did my shot, and it was generic, and then the big reveal would happen in the final hour right before we went to the Today Show. Yeah. My favorite one of all time was what's the caves over
DeSoto Cavern.
DeSoto Cavern.
You got in there so deep they couldn't get the microwave shot out?
No, the Great West Herald. We did the whole shot with the lights out, and every time I do a live shot, it was just tightly lit on me, and it was dark all around me. And the big reveal, they turned on the lights in the cavern, and it lit up behind us.
Joe won an award for that?
I think we got nominated. I think Rick Harley beat us
Probably.
for the Emmy.
I mean, he won them all. So.
Yeah.
No, I love Nakalula Falls, though, and I bet my parents just hated going up there. There was nothing for parents to do.
Right.
What about Point Mallard? Did y'all ever go there? I never went. It was the wave pool.
And no, I don't think I ever went to that.
Did y'all hear about it though?
Yeah, I
Point
remember
Mallard,
Point Mallard. Wasn't that up in Scottsboro?
I think
No.
so. Well, no, it was up north.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
Maybe Coleman.
I think it's Decatur.
Decatur.
Was
Decatur.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Boy,
he's
that is a long way away.
No,
Y'all went
Point
up there?
Mallard. I've been to Point Mallard before,
Yeah.
but of course I couldn't get in. Didn't they have some slides too? Had a big wave
never
pool
went.
and slides.
I just heard a lot about
I
it.
did the slides, but
Well, I think we would all say Chuck E. Cheese. Like, there was a Chuck E. Cheese in Gadsden. We did not have
Showbiz.
one in
Showbiz was the original.
Showbiz.
in
Well, it might have
Vestavia.
been Showbiz,
Billy
too.
Bob.
I don't know. Was that a chain?
had the
And it had the guys playing the music.
But I remember, I
Sadly,
thought it was-
Rocket Fire Explosion. It's one of the best. They don't have it anymore. There was a documentary on Netflix called Rocket Fire
I
Explosion.
remember the first time I went, Chuck took me, and he got, of course, a pitcher of beer, whether it was Mr. Gaddy's or Da Vinci's way back in the day, or Showbiz, pitcher of beer. But I remember thinking it was really cool because there was a sports room back before sports bars, and that's where the dads could go when the kids were playing, and they had all the games on. I thought that was super neat.
Yeah.
back when you didn't have to keep your eyes on your own kids.
Yeah, or there was
And I remember the first time I saw a ticker was there was a Mexican restaurant in Vestavia across from, might have been the same place as the Sailmaker.
My God,
And
that
this
place
was-
across from Red Lobster seats a thing.
This was
poppin'.
early 90s, first time I ever saw a ticker though. Like a sports ticker. I think it was called La Bamba maybe.
And you just sit there and
can't
you
remember.
went all afternoon. You just,
Yeah, eating chips and salsa and drinking beers. I remember just watching the scores and lines, and I was like, "This is awesome."
This is
supposed to
this is the future.
Yeah, this doesn't. It never will get better than this.
We used to seriously like Friday nights before we go out to fraternity house, we'd have it on CNN headline news and just watch the ticker. That's how we got scores of the games we bet on.
Do you know, I read an article, I'm going to bring it up on the actual
They would do it on
show.
like the 15 or the 5s, like sports on the 5s or something.
I remember to bring it up on an actual show, but there was this writer for one of the golf magazine or Golf Digest or whatever that was playing golf, and he thought he recognized his caddy, and like a couple of holes in, he realized it was Van Earl. Do you remember the anchor on Headline News?
Yeah, I do.
What is his first name, though?
Wasn't Van Earl right?
Van Earl Wright. Very good. That was his first name, Van Earl. Van Earl Wright. Headline News or sports or whatever. And the guy had gotten out of TV and he got a drug problem, right? Or he had a drug problem when he was with Headline Sports. Then he went to local TV and the drug problem cost him the job. So he cleaned his life up, but he couldn't get back in TV, so he just started caddying. And this guy's like, I recognize the caddy. And then finally I was like, are you Van Earl Wright from Headline Sports? He's like, I am. So he did this whole video on him. And I mean, you can tell like the drugs took a toll on him.
I still remember those like updates. Some
Fred
names.
Hickman,
Jerome
Jurinovich, yeah.
Yeah. Jerome Jurinovich. Headlines.
But to show you how much things have changed, like that would come on every 30 minutes, wouldn't it?
Probably.
And you would sit there and you would watch, waiting for that to come on just to get the scores. It was like
And
the
then
Weather
we
Channel.
evolved to Tell Me.
Yeah. Well, and then Sports Center is on.
Sports, college basketball, Arizona State. You'd have to yell
Arkansas
it.
State. No, Arizona State.
Yes. All right, that is the Mystery Fifth Hour presented by McCurry Van and Car Rentals. It's a place to rent from in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003, or visit them online, McCurryRentals.com. That is McCurryRentals.com. Please give us a thumbs up, and if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, click that subscribe button and set your alerts so you know when we're live, and you can catch us everywhere on social media at Next Round Live. That is at Next Round Live. Thank you for joining us for the Mystery Fifth Hour.